welcome to this episode of Bath Bubbles with Mel. This is it's our part 2 anyway. We've been trying to do this for a few takes now. All right. I have with me on this episode my beautiful sister, Stephanie. I brought her onto the show to talk about her bubble bath experience, especially her view, because she is not a bath taker, like a bath enthusiast. No. She's more of a shower enthusiast. Yes. We are coming to you from the Tim Hortons parking lot. Yeah, that's right. We're doing this. We're doing it. Car talk, like that's what sisters do. We get together, we have Timmy's, ice caps, and we chat. All right, Steph.
Yes.
I'll pass it on to you for you to introduce yourself to the guests.
Okay. Here I go. I'm Stephanie. I am Melanie's little sister. I am 30. I have no kids, but I do want kids.
Yes.
I'm engaged. I'm getting married in October.
It's so exciting.
Very exciting.
I'm the maid of honor. Can you guess?
I'm also a dog mom to a Shih Tzu Westie mix. Her name is Sweet Pixie, and she is 10 years old. I'm an inspiring writer, hoping to publish one day.
Yeah.
Hoping. And I work in fundraising for a nonprofit animal welfare organization.
All right. I've got a couple of questions here.
That was not on the question list.
Too bad, we're going off script. So, tell us a little bit more about your book, like your novel.
It is a dark fantasy rom-com.
Okay. So, give us a little bit about what the story is about.
It is, how do I explain it? Oh yeah, I have my phone now in my head. I can, because I've written it and I've made it perfection, or as close to perfection as possible. Otherwise, you'll never shut me up. I can find it. Oh, there it is. Victor Horace is an immortal cult leader in need of a matron to control the Express power and avoid incineration. His desperation leaves Victor to temporarily compel a sick girl to become his matron, only to discover that she is a Wilkin, an enemy of Express. Dun dun dun. This revelation puts Victor in a difficult position as he realizes that she is both crucial to the Express mission and a threat to its success.
Ooh. It's very good. I've been reading the first few chapters. It's super good.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And so another question that I want to ask you is to talk a little bit more about your job, because you said that you're in fundraising.
Yes.
Is there any particular moment of the year where it gets very stressful and overwhelming for you?
Well, this year has been an exception because every day has been stressful. But we have something called high fundraising season. So it goes from September to February, and things get picked up. We get a much higher volume of donations that come through, as well as donor inquiries and stuff like that. And it's also tax receipt season at the end of the year, because we have to issue all these tax receipts for people so that way they can file their taxes and stuff like that and claim their donations. Yeah. So it's a very, very stressful, especially December during Christmas time, from the week before Christmas to the first week of January. That is the highest peak of high
busyness.
Yes.
You're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off kind of thing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how we function.
All right,
it's a high.
How do you feel after after that time, like after that high fundraising season?
Well, in my previous position, I always scheduled my vacation at the end of high fundraising season.
Good idea.
So the moment that, things start to go down and
like slow down
is when I'm like, see ya, and then I'm just like dead for a week.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Get some rest after like the busy.
It's something that I learned when I first started. Like the first high fundraising season wasn't that bad because it was my first one, and so it was just like I wasn't doing that much. But my second year, I actually went up to my boss in January, and I said to her, I'm being transparent here. If I work another day, I'm going to crash and burn and cry, and things are going to get messed up, and I might just walk out for no reason whatsoever against the job. It's just I'm so burnt out. And she's like, okay, let's sit down, look at your schedule, let's see what we can do to give you that week off. And then since that experience, I've always made sure to always take vacation around that time, so that way I don't feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good to recognize when you're going to head into a burnout, right? Yeah. Because if you don't recognize those signs, then that's where you're going to head into a burnout. Yeah. Is to really get to know what those signals are, because those signals are different for everybody else. Like, so to recognize your own signals as to, hey, these are the red flags, we're heading in, burnout zone. It's really good to know, right? So like that's really good that you've recognized that about yourself and you're able to get that time.
Absolutely.
Take that time off. And
what I appreciate the most is because most bosses are not like that understanding. Yeah. Like I've heard stories of people having bosses being like, well, I don't care, just get the job done. But I've been very lucky that I've had a lot of good bosses, and she was one of them, where she was just like, I hear you, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's great. That's fantastic. All right. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about the bubble bath, obviously, because you're on this show. And
really?
Yes.
Was that what this job is? Not just job.
So you've been listening to me for like years on just all the stuff that I've personally been researching on for bubble baths, but one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you onto the show is because you said that recently all the information has kind of clicked inside of you that I have been sharing in terms of your bubble bath. And so I really wanted to know, like, what inspired you, like what, I guess maybe not necessarily what inspired you, but at what point did it all click for you, or like the information, and it was just like, oh, this made a lot of sense and it's working for you?
It was in February.
This February? That's fine.
I'm laughing because she knows this. So in February, I was on vacation.
After your big fundraiser, right? Like,
yeah. I was on vacation. And just keep a note, I guess for background information, I'm in a different position. So usually I take my vacation in January. This time I took it later in February. And it was great so far until middle of my vacation when I slept in the tub and I got a broken nose and black eyes.
Yeah, you
had to go to the hospital. Anyway, so funny enough, we had already scheduled to do some stuff for my bath basket on the Thursday. This happened on the Wednesday. I didn't tell you.
No, you didn't. It was quite a surprise when I showed up.
I was going to tell you depending on how long we were in the hospital, but after being in the hospital, let's see, it happened at around like 2:45, and thankfully John worked 5 minutes. John, my fiance, worked 5 minutes away.
Yes.
Let's go into details of this story.
Why not?
I was home alone. Very bad idea. And I was reaching a block in my writing, and usually taking a shower and getting all relaxed and stuff like that really flows to juice. So I figured, you know what, I'm feeling very icky at the moment. I'm gonna go take a shower, quick shower, and
Bad idea.
and that will be great. And so started off, my routine and stuff, and then just one step into the shower and plunk, hit my head onto the side of the wall. Then my nose hit the slope thing going straight down. All I can think of is like, don't black out, don't black out, don't black out. And kind of, a way to like, the last thing I remember is don't black out. And then I wake up, you blacked out.
Yes, exactly.
But I didn't black out. I immediately got up, which is, not the best idea to do. And I'm running around being like, and this is someone who has first aid training. It is true when they say that never, ever give first aid to yourself. Like that, never. Because it's true, like all sense, you've lost all sense. And I had to really be like, breathe, you're by yourself. You have to give yourself first aid. Breathe. I can't breathe, but just chill out, like blood everywhere, like chill out. Okay. What do you need to do? You need to not be by yourself. That is what you not need to do. And my phone was in the basement. And I was
so like 2 floors down. So like she lives in a 2-floor townhome. So you got she has to go down 3 floors just to get to the basement.
But so I'm like, okay, I have to give myself quick first aid. What do I need to do? Okay, lean your head forward, let the blood come out, grab something that will suck the blood.
I did not know you had to lean forward.
Yeah, lean forward.
And I was always taught.
No, because then the blood goes. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to lean forward. So lean forward slightly and have something to collect the blood and stuff like that. Made sure that, okay, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can think. I can manually work this. I can do this. Grab my phone. Immediately when I got into the basement, grab my phone, sit down, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. So immediately,
in case you have a concussion.
Yes, immediately sat down, called John, being like, come get me. I've broken my nose. I'm crying. I'm in the basement. He's like, he had no idea. That did not make sense to him. But he was like, I'm coming. So yes. So been in the hospital from 3 till 11.
3 in the afternoon?
Yeah, till 11.
Till 11 at night. Yeah. So she didn't tell me.
Yeah.
That she got this black eye, and I show up to her door the next morning because she was helping me with some recording some videos for the Inside My Basket membership, on how to make your own bath salts and all of this stuff. And she opens the door, and no, she didn't even open the door. I opened the door, and as soon as I walk in, she goes, "Don't freak out."
Don't freak out.
I'm like, oh no, what happened? Oh my god, it looked like, I swear, if I didn't know her fiance so well, it looked like she got punched squared in the face, right. Anyway, okay, so you fell down, you got the 2 black eyes. So take us through what the process of afterwards. So
here she is, doing her wonderful things. She is making a salt
mixture
for the bath. And she's talking about the different herbs and stuff like that. And I forgot which herb she was talking about, but she's like, this is good for this, for
calendula. Calendula is what I was talking about.
So I'm behind the camera recording, and she's making the mixture, and she's putting in these herbs. And she goes, and this one is good for this, bruises, this. And I'm like, I felt that. That was so directed to me right there. She didn't even have to look. All she was like, bruises.
I love the little head shake. Bruises. I don't think the emphasis was that big, but
it was there. Anyway, by the end of the video, it's in a jar and everything like that, and she's like, "There you go, this is for you."
Oh yeah, when we were done recording, I was like, "I made this specifically for you."
I'm like, yeah, I know, I felt that, I knew it.
So the whole, like me showing you how to build your own bath salts, like from scratch, like putting all the ingredients together, is literally me making a mixture for my sister because she fell down and broke her face. All right, continue.
So it's a big jar too. It was a really big jar. And so I'm like, okay, like, how many teaspoons do I need to use this? And she's like, looks at me weird, being like, you use the entire thing. And I'm like, the entire thing? It's frig.
2 cups. 2 cups of everything.
She's like, yeah, you're supposed to use the entire thing. And I'm like, I've always thought it was like 2 tablespoons. And she's like, no, you use the entire thing. And I'm like, I did not believe her. 2 things. 1, I didn't believe her. And then 2, I only had 1 big jar, and I wanted to have at least like maybe 2 baths. So I decided to like split it. Be like, sure. Full jar.
Yeah, whatever, lady,
Whatever.
You're crazy.
So I split it. It was still the most that I've ever had. Like I said, 2 tablespoons.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a cup now.
Yeah, because you split it was 2 cups, so you split it in half. So
I figured if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. So I love candles. So I put candles. And then I have a Himalayan salt lamp. So I decided to bring that in. And I didn't have spa music. I have writing music.
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
And so I had a playlist of that. And so I put that on. And I put the water's super, super hot. Put half of that in. And it was different.
It was
different. The cup makes a difference.
It does. Like the amount of bath salts makes a difference. It really does.
Difference. I'm like, oh, this is I like this. This is nice. It's so greasy.
It's so greasy.
Yeah. And like the salt is like it's not scratchy, but it's just like scrunchy, not scrunchy. What's the word? It's just like scrubby. It's very scrubby.
It's very scrubby.
I'm like, ooh, and the leaves too. It's just like, ew.
Like in like a good way, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay.
Like ooh, and not a ew. Ooh, okay.
And I think that's the longest I've ever been in the bathtub too.
Really?
Yeah. And it was very like it was really good. Just like the atmosphere and the music and the salt.
And the salt.
And the salt. And it's just like, oh. And it worked. It definitely relaxed. Let's make it clear. It was not just my face. It was also half my body that was in pain because it was where I landed. And so it was like my muscles.
Well, yeah, of course.
And it felt really, really good, really relaxing. And it cleared my mind very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started it just opened some of the writing block that I had in some parts of the story
That's good.
And I'm like, this is like,
it's a good thing.
It was a good thing, yes. And halfway through, it was just like la daydreaming my stories, being like, I'm gonna do this and this scene and that and that. I may have decided to add 2 bath scenes in the story.
As inspiration.
Inspiration, yes.
Yay.
It was really great. It was very I wouldn't say life-changing, but it was just like, I'm still a shower person.
Well, yeah, of course, because if you're not a bath person to begin with, there's no way you're going to just all of a sudden be like, I'm this huge bath person.
But I'm more open to the bath experience now.
Than you were before.
Yeah, and then 2 days later, I did the exact same bath. Another great experience.
See if we could, oh no, we can't turn on the light. Can we? No, all right. Just because it's slowly getting dark. That's all right. So,
yeah. So it was a really good experience. That's when it clicked.
That's when it all clicked. That's when you took in all my information. You went,
let's roll with this.
And then like, at what point were you just like, this is like mind blowing?
Well, right after that bath, because I messaged you being like, oh my God, his salt makes a difference.
It does make a huge difference. It really does.
If I had known, maybe I would have been into this.
That I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Yes. Actually, I think that's what I said. I've been doing it wrong.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said too. I've been doing baths wrong my whole life.
But yeah, that's when it clicked. And I know this question is going to come up, so I'm going to just say it now. Oh, thank you. That happens more often than you think.
We got late.
Happens more often than you think.
Woohoo! We got late.
I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, yes. So since then, because one of the things that you have mentioned is to definitely like, I wouldn't say decorate, but like.
What's your healing environment?
Yes, that's it. Thank you. You know what you're talking about.
It is my program.
And so I was just like, well, what is it that I would want in my bathroom to make this experience more experiencey? I'm terrible at this. I'm supposed to be a writer.
I love it. So what can you bring in to enhance your experience?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. More experiencey. All right.
I made my point.
Yes, definitely.
So one of the things that I got for Christmas from Mom is the moon.
Oh yeah, the moonlight. Yes.
So I brought that in. And I brought in a plant as well.
Yes.
It's still alive. It's actually grown.
Well, it probably loves the steam and everything that's in the bathroom.
And at Dollarama, they had this like linear of like flowers, pink flowers.
Oh, yes.
So I bought 2 of those and hanged it around the mirror and around the window.
Ooh.
And I brought 2 little fairies. The fairies that we got when we were kids, their wings are like falling apart. It's like from like dollar store.
Vaguely remember them, yeah.
Well, I still have them. They're, like I said, their wings are falling apart, but they're still pretty.
Yeah.
And they hold flowers. And one of them, the pink one, which I think was yours, it has a similar pink to the pink flowers.
Oh,
so now
cute.
I want to go and see if I can find the red ones to go with the red flower fairy and put that up as well, if I can find it. But yeah, I have those 2. And then I have one little card that represents John.
Aw, so you brought a little bit of your fiance.
Not on purpose. It was already there.
Oh, okay.
But I kept it there.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what I have so far in the bathroom.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And I have really plans to do other things. But
what sort of plans?
So
tell us a little bit.
They're monkey curtains. And the monkey curtains are adorable. And it's the first curtains that John and I got together.
At the apartment. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
That.
And I love the monkey curtains, but it just doesn't fit with the bath experience.
Yes.
So we have another bathtub in the basement. So I was going to move the monkey curtains down into the basement and buy curtains that's more
according to your healing environment. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that part, the healing environment part, like trying to discover like what sort of environment that you heal in, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because we all have this place where we are 100% like feel safe. Like we were able to take that big deep breath, go and like just release everything. And so bringing in those elements into your bathroom is a huge aspect of your bubble bath experience, especially if you're using it as a healing tool. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. I definitely agree. Okay. So I do have a question about like going back a little bit on this writing music compared to spa music, because I like bringing out the individuality of everybody's bath experience, because it is a very individual experience. So what sort of music is your writing music? I'm very interested in.
Well, you have to think about the music that's in movies and stuff like that. They're orchestra music that builds the scene and impacts the scene for you.
I saw like a little bit like when we were watching Bridgerton, where they have like the carriage scene where they have that Pitbull in it.
Yes, but it's actually not based on songs. It's actual orchestra for the originally made for that movie to add tension or whatever if they can't use like songs that were already created.
Oh, so interesting. I didn't even know that.
Like Bridgerton has its own orchestra.
Yes, I do realize
so
that. So
things like that. And then some are orchestra for like audiobooks and stuff like that, and so we just have a playlist with the type of genre the music is kind of
to your story, I guess, a little bit.
Kind of matches to the genre of the story. So there are some fantasy orchestra music, and then there's mystery, and there's romance, and all that stuff, and sad ones and happy ones.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Never even knew that there was that kind of music well, like I knew there was classical music with like orchestra and stuff like that, but I didn't know there was a type of music where it's made specifically for movies or like besides like known songs or specifically for audiobooks or stuff like that. I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of playlists out especially on Spotify, and there's a lot on YouTube as well, where even if you type in like writing music in a search, there's a lot of YouTube videos of people just put all kinds of music together, and you have like 4 hours of music to do, and
you could just write through it. That's awesome. I think that's an awesome idea. Definitely. So what were you thinking on types of curtains? Like, are you going with a pattern or with a bold color, or?
I don't know.
That's a mystery.
I'll know when I see it.
Or you could take the course inside my basket.
Do you have a free version?
No.
Family discount.
Family discount. Yeah. No. Okay. So, you've told me that it's this past February that you've really taken in like the like lessons and the things that I've been communicating. Really, I shouldn't say to heart, but like you've really taken in the information. So what is like besides the bath salts, what is one of the number one things that really stood out to you in terms of information that you were just like taken back and like I hadn't thought about it that way before? The water
I
vibrations.
didn't say that loud enough. The water vibrations. Even though it just said it.
That's so good. The water vibrations. All right. Dig into this. I'd like to know.
Steam is water.
Yes, of course steam is water.
I know that, but I never like clicked. I think I said it perfectly in my little notes here, but it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to read what I wrote.
I sent her some questions ahead of time just to get her prepared for today.
Oh my God, I said it. The steam, Mel, the steam.
The steam. You have no idea.
Oh. I can't find it. It's the fact that, like, it bounces off of everything.
Oh, yes. It reverberates back to you. Like
yes.
It's like the, what was I saying? The sonar technology, like how you
words.
how you send out the information, and when it hits an object, it reverberates back to you. Yes.
So, when you were talking about that in one of your podcast episodes, and, when you were talking about it, I was thinking like, when the water hits you or when you're sitting in the, the bathtub and stuff like that and how it affects you. And I'm just like, totally with you. And then you're like, and steam. And I'm like, oh, and steam, and I'm like, one of the reasons why I put a plant into the bathroom is, now I'm playing with the bugs, is like steam is water, and so it bounces off the plant, and the plant, bounces off of you, even though you're far away from each other. But
yeah,
it's the same.
You're all connected to each other. Yeah.
And that blew my mind. I did not think about steam. Even though I knew steam was water, I never thought about the steam that's going on in the bathroom, especially when you're done your shower or your bath and you're just standing there in the steam.
Yes.
And it does affect you.
Yeah, it does. Like the whole thing affects you. Yeah.
So that was just
mind blowing.
Yes.
The steam and the vibration within it. Yeah, that's a great point. I love that you brought that up. Like, and so like, how would you explain it to the viewers, like, of what I was meaning by it, like a little bit more in depth by what I mean by the vibrations of the steam?
I would say Melanie makes an excellent educator because all I'd be able to say is,
well, you can go check it out on episode 3, which is two supernatural, not supernatural. I always say supernatural. The 2 natural superpowers of water. Episode 3 of my podcast, I talk about the water and the 2 amazing things that happens with it. So I know there was another thing. These mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, and sorry, I'm just reading my notes. Meditation.
Oh yeah,
that's another thing that was mind blowing. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's your interview. You can talk as much as you want.
So another thing that was mind blowing. So whenever I thought about meditation, immediately I went to yoga, or not yoga, but just like you're sitting going, that
like humming, the chanting.
Yes, and you're sitting there crisscross applesauce, and you're just like with the fingers and just like breathing and trying to clear your mind blank. And they tell you to do that too. Breathe in and
let your mind go blank.
Let your mind go blank and just like disappear and find that like center. And I'm always there going like, I can't find my center. I can't make it go blank. Stop thinking. I can't do that. And in one of your podcasts, you talked about meditation and how it's not just that. It's like, and you gave examples of, it's whenever your mind is at peace and you could be doing something, not just meditating, but you could be gardening, you could be painting, you could be drawing, you could be writing, and be in that meditation mind. And it's so true, because after I've had a very good writing session, I feel so good and so relaxed. But I never considered that as meditation, because I always think like meditation, you have to go
like the Buddha. Yeah.
Yes. And so the fact that you said that, it's just it. And I know a lot of people have frustrations with meditation because they want to meditate, they want to feel that way, but their brains just can't stop working. And I'm one of those people, and so I'm like, I'll never get this right. But what my brain likes doing, it likes to go into that pattern of like fantasy and that's how I shut off my brain. Is when I let my brain just flow and I'm not controlling it. It's just flowing and telling a story on its mind.
Yeah, like kind of
soothing itself with these like stories. Because how I see in my head when I'm writing a story, I see like a movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I like watching movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Because it just soothes my brain and stop thinking and stressing about everything.
Yeah.
So that was another mind-blowing moment of like a different way of describing meditation.
Yes, because I struggled with that for the longest time. Because when I first came in contact with meditation, I was in high school, and they had this little like activity thing during lunchtime, and I could not get it.
When they tell you like dream about the ocean and
like you said, like to go to make your mind blank and all of this, and I was just like, but I was intrigued by the practice like of meditating. I was very intrigued by it, but I can never fully understand what exactly they meant by a meditative state. So it took a long time before I even realized myself that what I was doing during my bubble bath was actually a natural way of meditating. Like if a lot of instructors, meditative instructors out there used that sort of description as to what a meditative state would be, then I think a lot of more people would succeed in meditating, because that's the number one thing. I've had moms in the past message me and be like, there's no way I can meditate. Like, I don't know how to turn off my brain. I don't know how to shut off my thoughts and everything. And I have to be like, well, why are you shutting off these thoughts? You shouldn't be shutting off the thoughts. What you should be doing is releasing control of the thoughts, and just like you said, let it flow.
Yeah.
And just let it come to you when it comes to you.
And I know I didn't mention about watching TV and stuff like that. No, watching TV would not be a type of meditation, but I use that as an example of like how my brain works.
Yes. Yeah.
Letting
definitely.
my brain naturally just play out like stuff.
What it is that it's going through its mind. Yes. I think it's the greatest
thing.
Can
we put the windows up?
We definitely Sorry. So we were too loud for the kids, so we had to come to the Tim Hortons parking lot to do this little podcast of ours. So where am I at? What just beeped? Play with the car. Okay. So what sort of, look, we got the radio going. So what sort of advice, I guess, no, we kind of covered that with the meditation thing. So what do you believe from your own experience that people misunderstand about the bubble bath experience? Like, because there's a lot of controversy that goes around the bubble bath experience. You have a lot of people out there being like, bubble bath isn't self-care, it isn't all this, blah, 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 blah. And then you have those that, like myself, who are huge bubble bath enthusiasts. And so what do you think the average person probably has a misunderstanding of the bubble, like, especially in your shoes, not being a bubble bath person to begin with? What sort of misconceptions do you think people might have on experience?
So we already covered the fact that, the amount of salts you're supposed to use.
Yeah, a lot of people were getting mosquitoes now. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that you need at least 1 to 2 cups of Epsom salt per bath. That's definitely a big one. Yeah,
that was the game changer, guys. The fact that people can't get over the fact they're sitting in their own filth. Well, I hear that all the time. You're sitting in your own dirty water.
My husband says that all the time.
But when people do say that, what I hear is them sitting in their own misery. So a lot of people that I've been hearing, and I'm hearing a lot more now, where they don't like, distracted by the mosquitoes. They don't like being left alone in their own thoughts.
That's a biggie.
Yeah, that they're terrified of their own thoughts. But the thing is that that's how you become more comfortable with yourself and more confident in yourself, is to actually have that conversation with yourself.
Yes.
And going through all the scary things that terrifies you and gives you anxiety and gives you fear and everything like that, because how else are you going to be able to get up and face them all?
Exactly.
Is you do need to find the root of the problem, like what we were talking about earlier with I'm saying, like, the wedding is giving me anxiety, and I can't remember who made the joke, but someone made a joke of like, oh, are you afraid that John's not going to be at the altar? And I'm like, no, because like if he didn't want to be in a relationship, he would be gone by now.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not afraid about that. But then I went into details of like what is giving me anxiety about the wedding. And a lot of people won't be able to answer that question because they don't think, they don't think about what's causing that emotion. They just act on it and being like, oh, I'm not going to do this, or I'm terrified of that. And it's just like, well, why? And, oh, I don't know. No. And then they're rushing to find the quick fix of getting rid of that feeling instead of just sitting there and being like, okay, deep breath. Why am I feeling this way? And then, there's the common sensors, which is like, okay, the economy, politics, not having enough money, or not being able to eat healthy because of money costs and all money costs, like costs of living and everything like that. But there's also like other things that you might not be thinking about that is causing you. Yes, those are the main factors, but you're focusing on things that you can't control. Yes. And a lot of people, myself included, like I have control issues. I know that about myself. But what I've learned over the years is kind of take that deep breath of being like, okay, I can't control this. And no matter the amount of stress and anxiety and fears and everything I'm putting towards this, I can't control it. So what can I control? And that's what sitting in your own filth is all about, is just being like, okay, I can clean this up. I can do this. I can do that.
Yes. I agree, and that's exactly what I'm trying to bring to the My Bath Basket universe, is that, like you said, it's about creating this safe place. Like, this bubble bath is your safe place. And to process these sensations and emotions and thoughts that are coming through, that you, like you said, on a daily basis could be very overwhelming, but in the right environment can be a little bit more controlled, and you can process at your own pace and stuff. Yes.
And what the bath experience or the shower experience is good for is not necessarily having those conversations, but being able to calmly enter into that space of being able to face it. So it's not, actually sitting there in the bath and think about all the scary things, because then that creates a negative with your bath experience. Your bath experience needs to be a positive thing. So it's all about, clearing the mind and relaxing the body and focusing on the areas that is giving you pain, like the anxiety or the stress, or, your foot, if you're feeling it there. Some people feel the storm in their foot.
I myself carry a lot of stress and anxiety in my hip. Yeah. Like I have like chronic hip pain, which I'm actually, since I've started the bath experience, has been like, the restorative bubble bath experience has eased over the years. Like, sometimes it gets really, really tight, but then that's usually when I realize that I'm releasing. That was usually just before I release like something that's very emotional or that has been like bothering me for a long time. And then what's funny enough about dealing with trauma and going internally, like you were saying and stuff, it's not like another thing that people don't fully understand is that everyone thinks that it's a linear thing, right? Like, it's just like, oh, I've dealt with this trauma, so like I'm never have to deal with the trauma again. But really, it's more of like a spiral effect where you are, depending on where you are in life, depending on what the thoughts are and whatever, you might revisit that trauma again and have to deal with, like, the Shrek syndrome. Let's put it that way, where you're like an onion and you have to peel back the layers. But yeah, so to speak. So that's why that's why I love the bubble bath experience, because it's a natural place that, as a bubble bath enthusiast, or even if you're not a bubble bath enthusiast, it's a place that you could go to where, like you said, you can have this environment to process everything.
Yeah. And talking about keeping it positive, I will admit one thing that makes me feel better. And I never do this with baths, but I will do it with showers. Okay. I try to keep my showers a positive experience as well. But sometimes sometimes you just need a really good cry.
Oh, definitely.
And showers are so perfect for that because
see, that's why we're different, you and I.
Because, but this is how I think of it, is whenever I'm very much in a negative space and I'm trying to get out of it and being in a positive space, and you need that good cry.
Yeah.
I go and take a shower and I let it all out and I talk to myself about it and I kind of vent to whoever it is that I want to vent to. But, and I have this thing that I've learned over the years is to try and be less reactive when I'm angry with someone, because otherwise I say things that I don't mean, and I have a short temper, so if I lose control of my actions, and I tend to go through the throat.
Yes,
yes,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Just listen to me.
I think it's a family trait.
So over the years, I have learned to control that by, being like, okay, I'm going into a negative space. I need to take a step out and I need to, get past this. So having that good cry and then yelling at the person, in the shower and just like crying. And how I see it is, the rain just washing the negative away and going down the drain. So all my tears is going down with it and it's washing me clean,
It's like a shower meditation.
Yes. And I'm just like crying and crying. And then I finally get to the root cause of what's really making me angry. And I'm like, how can I say this without sounding terrible? And it goes back to, you don't say you. It's not you did this, you did that, you. It's I feel this way because of this, because of what happened.
Yeah, like this is my perspective.
This is my perspective. Yeah. Exactly. And being able to walking out feeling much more positive, much more happy, and also being like, well, that was an overreact. I was totally overreacting. Again, I have no control over this, but I have control over that. And it's washing away all the filth and the dirt and just being like, okay, I'm me again. And this is how I'm going to approach it.
I go through a very similar process as you do, but with the bath. So it's kind of like the bath is the same idea. Like I feel it like cleansing all the negative energy, or I shouldn't say negative energy, I should say, because there's actually no such thing as negative energy, but lower energy. So that's what it is. Like I would wash away the lower frequencies or the lower energies away with the bath. So it's the same idea. It's just you're taking a shower versus me taking a bath. And that's why I have said in the past, I'm talking way back when I first started, maybe haven't voiced it as much now as I used to. A lot of the stuff that I do teach in the Inside My Basket membership also applies to showers. Like you can do it with showers. Like instead of doing a bath salt, you could do a body scrub and things like that, like to bring in with the salts and the herbs and the oils and everything. Like, so you can alter it to use it also. Or if you're somebody like my sister who does both bath and shower, you can use it in combination with the two and alter it between the two. Definitely. Those are some great points. So what is your biggest challenge right now with your restorative bubble baths? What do you find is your biggest challenge right now? I love how you have to go back to your answers.
I'm just brainless right now. It's a good thing I wrote it down. I know you said I didn't need to, but I'm just I'm just going to talk rubbish. What is your biggest... This is true. See, I was right. Buying the salt and getting the stuff I need for the bath.
I love it because it says my sister spoils me and I don't feel like buying, let alone making the stuff. So buying the ingredients and making it.
Even though I have several recordings of her doing it.
In less than 10 minutes. And it's true. Like it's I can put the bath salts that I share in the inside my basket membership. I could get it all together and mixed together before the tub is even full. Like that you're running the tap to fill up your bathtub. That's how quick it is.
I don't have any of the stuff at home, and I know that lots of the stuff you can get like at grocery stores and Dollarama, like the salts and stuff like that.
Yes, you can. And even your spice rack. You probably have a lot of stuff in your spice cupboard right now in your kitchen that you could be using.
But it's not yours. It doesn't have the secret ingredient. Love. And a pinch of attitude being like, and bruises.
And bruises.
Muscles and bruises. With a hand like,
it doesn't have my energetic touch.
No, it does not.
So that's your biggest challenge.
That is my biggest challenge.
So it's hard for you to take baths because you don't have the proper equipment. Like the proper stuff.
Yeah.
I need my fix. I love it. Yeah, no, it's super easy to make. And I always try to advertise that you can use whatever you have on hand. So like I just mentioned, like you could go to your spice rack, or your spice cupboard or spice drawer, whatever you have in your kitchen, and you can use all kinds of spices that are in there. Like you can use your rosemary, you can use your ginger. I've used ginger powder in my bath before. I've used cinnamon in there. You can, literally spice yourself up. Your rotisserie chicken. No, there's actually no, because thyme, all kinds of, they all have wonderful medicinal benefits behind them, and so it's literally as easy as getting stuff right out of your cupboard and then adding them to Epsom salts and using the oil that you have on hand, whether it's coconut oil, whether it's olive oil that you use for cooking or whatever. The only thing you really
vegetable
have to
oil?
I wouldn't do vegetable oil. Vegetable oils aren't good for you.
Right.
But yeah, no, any sort of oil like that, like carrier oil, all you have to do is buy the unscented Epsom salt and you just throw it together. It's literally that simple. And
the store is too far away, the Metro's right here and Dollarama's right there.
Metro has unscented Epsom salts. I'm just
actually
saying.
No, it doesn't. Not mine.
Well,
I went searching.
I think you need a new town. It's it has nothing.
It has plenty. It has me. I'm in it.
Because we were just talking about how her Timmy's doesn't have caramel ice caps. So
No, I have to get it plain, original.
Unflavored
ice caps. Actually, no, they do have flavors. Just caramel was not one of them. No,
So we talked about the things that stresses you out in your job with the high fundraising. Mm-hmm. We're kind of going back to your job a little bit, and the stresses that you have and stuff. So how would your the restorative bubble bath, help you in that sense, you think? If you were to take a bubble bath after you've had your fundraising. Do you want to refer to your nose?
Well, first, I wouldn't break my nose.
Well, that's a good start. I would hope you don't break your nose again.
Maybe I would take an actual bath instead of a shower.
And maybe not break your nose this time.
Break my nose. It is getting better now when, I am stressed at work and I come home and I'm just having to take a breather and just one of the things that I find that I have a hard time is switching my brain from work to home, because now I'm a manager, I'm responsible for people and for other things, and so I'm constantly thinking about work, and I can't turn it off.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes a lot of sense.
And I don't want to be one of those, workaholics. I don't want to be a workaholic. No. But with, no kids and stuff like that, it's very easy to fall into that pattern and make work your entire life when it's just no.
When that is your entire life?
It is my entire life. And so one of the things that I've noticed is that I'm if I can't switch my brain off, I can't get into my writing. And
that's a huge.
Yeah. So what been trying to do, what's great is that I do work 45 minutes away. And so a lot of times the driving does help.
Yes.
And I try to put my writing music on to kind of get me out of the thinking of work and into the writing. And if that doesn't work, then going home and maybe taking a shower or a bath to just reset the mind, take a deep breath and let my mind just slowly meditate into its natural habitat of just creating stories.
Ooh, I love how you said that. That's very...
And then I'm more into like writing.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing.
And what's great is having not to cook dinner.
Not to cook dinner. That's a huge one. And I like how you said that, like listening to your writing music, because one of the things that I found to be very helpful is that once you have established this environment in your bubble bath, to bring those healing tools that you use in your bath outside of your bath to help with the regulation of the nervous system and the regulation of, like, just like you said, getting yourself into that more balanced state that you want to be in. Yeah, no, I think that's great. That's fantastic. And I love how you explained it all. Very fancy. Sorry, that made me think of something earlier. All right. What is your end goal with your bubble bath experience? So, like, in terms of, like, decor or, like what, like, okay, your restorative bubble bath is ever evolving because you're always evolving as a person. But at what point would you like to get your bubble bath experience to, or your restorative bubble bath experience to?
I'm just reading my notes. I know my answer, but I just want to see like how I actually compose that answer without going gibberish. This is gibberish. Okay, but it's a great example of, okay, so the end goal is to feel relaxed, but not my body feeling relaxed, but my brain to feel relaxed. And I know John always teases about me, but I know it's a tease that most husbands have with their wives, which is, you know, you're overthinking, you're thinking too much, things like that. He doesn't say it negatively. He teases me about it. And it's true. I'm a thinker. I can never shut my brain and make it stop. Yeah. It's constantly thinking about all kinds of stuff, from the smallest little detail to the biggest detail. I am a planner. I'm not very good at the spontaneous. John takes care of that. He's very in the moment, present. Let's do something spontaneous, which is great. I need that because I am a planner. I think ahead, which is what he needs. So here I am thinking like 6 months from now.
I wonder if that's every husband and wife duo, because like you said, like, I'm very much the planner. I'm often wondering if that's like our upbringing that has made us like that we have to we have to think of every detail, because if we don't think of every detail, then it like somehow gets thrown in our face type thing. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm still like that. Like, I've gotten better at it, but I'm still like that, where it's like I analyze like every little thing. Yes. And I'm an data analyzer.
So it works. And I'm in fundraising, and you're supposed to be thinking 6 months ahead. So it works too.
Yeah, no, I guess it works in
so I'm a constant thinker, thinking about every single little thing and overthinking it. And I need a backup plan for my backup plan. So in case this happens, then we'll do this. And if that happens, we'll do that. And if that happens, we're going to do this. Yep. And if this happens, then we'll do that. You know, I thought of, what happens, and it's sad. What happens? What if this person passed away? What are we going to do? What happens if that person passed away? What are we going to do? and you know, if that person passes away, but then this happens, what are we gonna do? Like, and
it's definitely
and then you're here, you are crying in your car because you're dreaming about this person passing away and you're not dead, and you're just like, what did I miss them so?
so true. It's like we live like multiple lives into one life because we've thought of every scenario possible.
and so yeah, so I can't get my brain to stop doing that. And that is the goal of the bath experience, is to get the brain to stop doing that, because sometimes it goes into overdrive. And that's when you are just mentally exhausted. And when you're exhausted, your brain shuts off, but you don't feel relaxed because it's not relaxed. It's dead.
Yeah, actually, I have a question for you. So, like, after you take a shower or a bath or whatever, do you sit or lay on your bed or even on the edge of the bath, whatever? Do you sit in your towel and just kind of go off into space?
Yes and no. It depends on,
or like even like
mood.
thinking mode, like, you know, like, but you're just laying there not doing anything.
It really depends on my mood and the time of day and stuff like that. A lot of times I do take like showers and baths at the end of the day because it helps me sleep.
Yeah.
And so in which case, yes, I will do that. I'll say all of my good nights and do all of my nighttime routine. And the last thing I'll do is take a bath or a shower, and then I will go to bed. And yes, I know I'm doing the bad thing. I sleep with wet hair, but I like it.
I do it all the time.
And I also lay there naked. It feels so good just sleeping naked.
Good. I miss sleeping naked. You can't do it so much when you have kids, but I freaking miss sleeping naked.
and yeah, and I just lay there, and a lot of times I just drift off to sleep.
Okay, so you never like just lay there?
No, sometimes I do. Sometimes I lay there, especially if, let's say, I am planning on doing something and I'm not going to sleep, then I'll just lay there for a couple of minutes, or an hour. Sometimes I don't do that because I know it's very dangerous. I get distracted or I fall asleep. So I will just lay against the counter for like 5 minutes. And then sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm right there in my writing moment and I got an idea and I need to
write it down.
Like, I'm in my writing mood and I'm like, this is it. We got to go in. So I quickly get dressed and I go into my writing area, because now I have two. So either the one desk or the other. and I
just
write or I plot or I do whatever it is that I need to do.
Yeah, so the reason why I'm asking is because that is like one of multiple signs that you, because it's something I do that I didn't realize was not considered, I don't want to say not healthy, but that it was a sign of a bigger issue. And that is like, I found out that it's a symptom of functional freeze. So it's a symptom of survival mode, just kind of like your body is so in shock and so tired and been processing so much that it kind of like, you kind of like freeze, so to speak. Like there's nothing you know what I mean?
I see what you mean. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, yes, I sometimes do that. So that's when I overthink and I'm trying to like get myself better. And yeah, I usually go straight to bed when that happens, because I'll just fall
draining.
It is. That's what. Yeah, it is, and it's not a good healthy.
No, it's actually a sign that you're in survival mode. That you're like your nervous system is overworking, and you're like like overworking and over traumatized, basically. Like you're stuck in this petrified state, and yeah, like you're just like frozen in this loop type thing. Yeah.
So I would take a shower to recover, and that's when I would go to bed. And it tends to be the nights that I go to bed early, right? It's 8:00, and because I know that my brain is completely like smoke
Yes.
And like little slight sparks because it's broken.
Yeah,
And me
because
telling John, being like, you have to fend for yourself, or you have
Well,
to cook dinner, or I'm
people
just
don't
not
realize
doing
what
dinner.
functional freeze is. So like functional freeze is like you're in this freeze state. Like it's almost like I don't breathe, don't take up space, don't like kind of like hide away or whatever. But you have to live your day-to-day life, you know? And it's like there's many times where I catch myself and I'm like, when's the last time I took a breath? Like I should be breathing right now. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm not breathing. So I'm like, okay, breathe. Like I have to tell myself to breathe. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. And something that, you know, we do joke about this a lot, and it's how women can't decide what to have for dinner. And, you know, guys making jokes being like, this is how you know to get her to think about dinner and stuff like that. I had this conversation with my boss about this, and it's because, especially with, you know, minds like ours where we're constantly overthinking, and also in my position, you know, we have to make a lot of decisions, and a lot of decisions for some people, especially if they're new and they're learning and stuff like that, and you're trying to empower them, but you know, they don't want to make that decision, they don't want to make that call, and so you have to make the call. And I get home and John be like, well, what do you want for dinner? And I'm just like, seriously, I've been making decisions all day, you decide. And then he gets upset because he's always the one that's deciding, and I'm just like, I get it, I'm the one that's always deciding too.
no, yeah, I get that, and from a different perspective, because like I've been really into human design the last couple of years, and finding out as like being a manifester, one of the things I've been learning through it is that our energy is to initiate. So we have to start the ball rolling. Like we have to make these decisions, or we have to come up with these ideas. Not necessarily like that we have to come up with these ideas, but that the idea starts with us type thing. You know what I mean? Like, so like I'm consistently initiating, and then all of a sudden, like Eric, my husband, will be like, well, what should we do for dinner, or what should we do for this? And I'm thinking, can it just be like one thing that I don't think about? Like, cause like I feel like and then you know, like because I feel like I'm initiating everything. I'm initiating the homeschooling. Like I have to bring all that homeschooling stuff into like, and then the kids, like, and everything like that. Like there's a lot that goes on, and the last thing I want to do is, like you said, think about what's for dinner, or and I've tried to do like meal plans and all this stuff.
Yes.
And it just doesn't seem to work out. Like I can't seem to get the right flow of like meal planning, and so like I just feel like it's so bad, the initiating so bad. Like he will ask me what to get at the grocery store, and I have a grocery list on the fridge, and I'm just like I made this grocery list on the fridge because I can't just come up with a list of items that we need right on the spot. I'm sorry. I have a billion other things going on in my head. The last thing I need to do is have a running tally of what we need in the house. Like, so all the time, like it got to a point where I'm just like, it's on the fridge. Like it's on the fridge. If at this point you can't figure it out, I can't help you. Like, it's like the whole, you know, can't find the ketchup in the fridge when it's right there in your face. I'm just like, if you can't get it, you can't get it. I'm sorry, hon. Like, but I get what you're meaning. Like, you make so many decisions and you initiate so much throughout the day that by the end of the day, you're just like, I'm done. Like, I can't do it.
When John and I lived in an apartment, we used to have the meal prep, or what it was just like a whiteboard with Monday to Sunday on it. And we select days that is kind of fun for yourself. So like Wednesdays is always fun for yourself because I hang out with Kayla after work. And I can never predict what time I come home at. So we just take care of each other. And take care of ourselves. And you know what? Sometimes I just end up having dinner with Kayla anyway, so it works. And then what we've now decided, which is super helpful because I always feel like I'm cooking and I hate cooking. I take after mom that way. I just don't have the patience for it.
And not like me, who has a homestead and I pressure water bath and everything. So
and John's like, but you're such a better cook than me. And I'm just like, I just can't do it. So he takes care of cooking Mondays and Tuesdays because I get home late from work and I don't want to eat late and I don't usually those are the toughest days at work because he just came back from a weekend, and so we have a higher volume of like donations and inquiries and things going wrong and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
So he cooks on those days, and then I cook Thursdays and Fridays, and then the weekend we take turns, or we do takeout, or sometimes we do fend for yourself, depending on what the weekend is. And what we try to do is on the Sunday or the Saturday, we just look at the whiteboard and just like erase what's there and just put what we've decided to cook.
That's a good idea.
And he decides on his days what to cook, and him being spontaneous, he tends to not write anything because he knows he just has to decide those days. Me, on the other hand, I have to remember to take the meal out of the freezer, so I have to make the decision right there and then. What are we going to eat next week, and put it on the board and make the decision then, so that way every night when I go to bed and I walk by the board being like, what are we eating tomorrow? I said we did this. Okay, we're going to take that out of the freezer.
No, that's a great idea, though.
And then sometimes I'll change my mind because I'd be like, oh, but I have to go to a grocery store to get like milk to make this. And I'm and I don't feel like going to a grocery store. So what do we have? What can we replace? We'll do this instead.
No, that's a good idea.
Because I know I'm very good at making decisions in the future, but I make terrible decisions spontaneously. So that's how we're working it.
All righty. Well, hey, it works for you guys. That's great.
Yeah.
So far, I still have to figure out what works for us.
And an Instapot.
Instapot.
Makes
you know what? My Instapot is not used for cooking.
I know. It's so weird. I've used it the other day. It's nice. I test something.
What did you?
Because you're supposed to put like a quarter of water in it.
Yeah.
But what I decided to do, I was making tenderloin, and in tenderloin you make it for like 3-4 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
3-4 minutes on hot pressure, and then 12 minutes to release.
Yeah.
But anyway. So what I decided is I opened up the can of beans and I put it in there, and there's liquid in the can of beans. So I was just like, let's not put water in it.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I drained I didn't drain it, but I removed the beans but kept the water in it and made gravy out of it.
Ooh, yummy. That sounds delicious.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
All right, we're going slightly off topic.
Oh, sorry.
Here.
Yeah.
All right, so we're coming near the end, but is there anything you would like to share with listeners today about about the restorative bubble bath, about the teachings that I share about the bubble bath experience? Just anything that you would love to share with the listener of the podcast.
It is okay to not like baths.
It's totally okay not to like baths. There is no pressure here. Even though like it's all bath, there's no pressure here if you don't like them.
A lot of what you say can translate into a shower.
Yes.
I know because I have been doing it for years. I've been like your guinea pig.
Yes.
Try this, do that. Or sometimes I would just willingly try
But you've only put it actually into practice this year. This is so funny.
Yes. I've done little tests throughout the year of just trying it, and then I've learned my lesson, you know.
That's gonna be forever. Bruises.
So I've dived into it, but yes, a lot of it can translate into showers. I personally still prefer showers over baths. Showers just work for me, but once in a while having that bath is very, very nice. Also, like I will admit, changing the look of the bathroom does make an effect.
Yeah, building that healing environment.
Yes, it does. It does make a difference, and you just love your bathroom more.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, like it doesn't have to be expensive things. Like you went around your house, and I share that with everybody, all my clients. Go through your house first, because a lot of times you have the items already in your home, just in different places of your home, and bring that into your bathroom. And then you said you went to the dollar store. Like I said, like you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like a lot of the things that I have from my restorative bubble bath is from the dollar store. Like my hot yoga mats from there. I have one of the yoga blocks that I got from the dollar store. And I just bought probably about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, a foam roller from the dollar store, and that's probably my best purchase this year is that foam roller. Like I love it. So like anyway, continue. I'm coming in on you.
Biggest thing is to make it your own experience. One of the things that I was doing over the years, being your guinea pig and wanting to try things out, is that I always did it the way I thought I was supposed to do it, or the way that it was suggested to do it, and I never really tried doing it my own way.
Yes.
And so my own way is like, okay, yes, everyone loves candles, but like the moon.
Yeah, like the moon.
I love the moon and the stars and stuff like that.
I love the
space.
Yeah.
I love space and fantasy and magic. And so that is what I incorporated. I incorporated the moon and the fairies and the writing music that is more fantasy than spa music.
Like it just shows the individuality that you could come into the experience, and the industry doesn't show you that, the bubble bath industry. And this is why I tried to emphasize a lot, is that it's almost like they put you in these categories, right? Like it's like, if you buy this, it'll help with muscle. If you buy this, it'll help with breathing. You know, like it kind of puts you in these categories. Whereas I'm saying, no, like you as a person are way more than just muscle ache. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and you as a person is way more than just, I need to relax. Like, you know, like there's way more, like I said, like going back to my Shrek syndrome, like you've got layers. So your bubble bath experience should be hitting multiple layers of who you are.
Yeah.
No, and I agree, and I think that's wonderful. I think it's wonderful because it is that individuality that I am trying to bring to the bubble bath industry, into my bath basket.
And the last thing I would say is just buy the frickin' stuff and take 2 minutes to make the frickin' salts.
I love how you keep going back to the salts.
It's just so easier for you to make it for me, and you do such a good job. And you love doing it too.
I do love doing it.
And you know I'm your babysitter.
Oh my goodness. I'll send you home with them.
Yay!
So the next question is kind of has to do with the topic that we're trying to. So like the next question I was asking is, what is the one thing you wish you knew at the beginning of your restorative bubble bath journey?
The amount of salt.
It's the amount of salt.
It's a game changer.
It's you know, it's funny. We had a girl way back in March. We had a girls' night to kind of commemorate our aunt who passed away. And I was talking to our other aunt and our cousin, and I was asking, and we were talking about bubble baths, and they said the same thing as you, that they only put like a sprinkle in. And then when I told them that it's 1 to 2 cups of Epsom salt, they were just as flabbergasted as you. They're just like, what do you mean?
That doesn't sound right.
To the point where they had to like our cousin Karina had to like Google it, and she Googled it, and she was just like, oh my gosh, just like, what? Like, and I'm just like, I know, I don't know where it came from that you only use a sprinkle. I don't know where it came from.
Products. I think it was at the beginning.
I know. I kind of want to look at it's been so long since I bought.
Because you have to think that not all products are all natural products.
They're not. Okay, like because that's the number one thing. This is how I started everything. Like this is how the ball started rolling, and I became this, I wouldn't say expert, but how I studied basically bubble baths was that my dog Lady, remember Lady? She passed away at 2 years old with bone cancer, and I went down the friggin' Google hole of like what causes bone cancer, and household products, homemade products.
twist.
Household products has so many chemicals in it that you're literally dousing yourself with cancer-causing chemicals. And all I kept thinking is, here I am soaking myself for hours in this tub of like toxic chemicals, like, yeah, big game changer. 1 to 2 cups, guys.
So
1 to 2 cups.
Yeah, so I think that's where it came from, because there might be some ingredients in the products where you're not supposed to use that much, and it could cause like irritation and stuff like that. And it's also probably for health and safety, but also covering their own butts, because if something were to happen, people can easily sue them.
Right.
So they recommend, using this amount.
Yeah.
To avoid like rashes and stuff like that.
No, that makes sense.
So that's where I think it came from. But natural products, especially if you're making it your own, 2 cups.
Yeah, 2 cups. I always use 2 cups, but it says 1 to 2 cups that you can use. And she did use half my mixture.
I used a cup.
She used a cup, and she said it made a huge difference. To the point where she's like, I could just imagine what a full dose would be. Like, you haven't even experienced a full dose
No,
yet.
I haven't. I might if I go home with some stuff.
Well, we'll see when we get home. All right. And then last but not least, what are currently your favorite bath products?
Anything made by Melanie. Anything made by Melanie. If I don't have to make it, yeah, that's great if you can make it, because you make the best. You just, like I said, you put in that secret ingredient of like love and care and magic. Magic stuff. Because seriously, I used half a cup. And
no, cup.
I used a cup. And seriously, when the doctor said that it's going to take 6 months for the nose to heal, and that the black eyes is going to take 4 to 6 weeks or something, 4 weeks, something like that. And I was just like, oh geez. And then I used it, which is good for bruises, and I like really rubbed it around my eyes and stuff like that, just like massaging it. And then I did it again with the other cup, and it lasted less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It was magic.
The magic of herbal remedies.
Everyone was just like, seriously, you look like a raccoon maybe for 2 days, and then that's it. It was gone. Because it was both eyes, black eyes, both eyes.
Yeah, like you had it all like...
Yeah.
Like she looked like a raccoon.
I smacked like that. I was lucky my nose didn't like went on the side or anything.
Yeah, like crooked,
and I could breathe both nostrils, and he's like,
you
were lucky.
It was a clean break. She was lucky.
So yes. So just like magic. Anyway, so my favorite product would be anything made by you. But to actually answer your question, and this was actually recommended by my doctor, because this was, oh my God, over 7 years ago, because it was right before I met John. I had suddenly, like, I was pretty good with the acne in high school.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. But I went into this like huge break on my cheeks, were literally like pimples over pimples over pimples. It was disgusting. It was itchy. It was just like terrible. And I wasn't wearing makeup anymore because like I didn't want to irritate it, but nothing that I was doing was getting rid of it. So I went to the doctor and was just like, I need a specialist. I need something. And she's like, okay, well, before we do that, this is what she recommended. So she recommended like an over-the-counter cream to put on it. And she said to only wash your face with unscented soap.
See, going back to the unscented.
Yeah. So, and I did that, and it cleared right up. And I was still in the middle of the acne stuff when I met John. So the fact that like he stuck around just to see the clear face, and he still thought I was beautiful. No. Anyway, but yeah, and I still to this day use it. Now I have 2 soaps because I also love, and John also loves it, the shea butter coconut.
Oh yeah, the shea butter.
The shea butter coconut. Love that smell. Just absolutely. I love the cream and I love the soap. So I have that for like the rest of my body, but I use the unscented Dove soap. Specifically Dove, because I've always been into Dove.
You know what? I often wonder if it has to do with, I haven't done a dive, like I haven't gone down the Google rabbit hole of fragrance oil, but I wonder if the fragrance oil has a lot to do with the breakouts and stuff like that. Possible. And that's why the unscented is working for you.
Yeah, man, it's possible. But yeah, I tried all kinds of stuff. I tried all of like the, the suggested like acne face wash and all these products. I tried it all. It just either made it worse or it helped. And then it's almost like the pimples were like, okay, oh, this isn't that bad. And then it was starting to like, the products wasn't working anymore. It kind of found like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I know why.
Why?
So our body does this wonderful thing, and it adapts to everything.
Yes, that's what I was trying to think. Like it was, yes, that's what I was trying to think.
That's why I always highly suggest to rotate the herbs that you're using. If you are somebody who uses herbs in your baths all the time, to rotate them. Like, yeah, you could use the one specific one for like a little while, but then switch it up with like another one that has similar benefits, because your body gets used to it. Mm-hmm. So for instance, an example, like for you, like it was the acne products that your body was getting used to. For me, in terms of the bath, I was using lavender essential oils, but back then I knew nothing about essential oils, and I used it like the wrong way. And still to this day, that was like 10 years ago, because it was when I lived at my apartment. Mm-hmm. And I was going to the gym, when Eric and I split up. And yeah, like to this day, I use lavender essential oils, but it doesn't really do anything for me, because I have overused it so much that my body has just naturally gotten used to it.
Adapted to it.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being on my podcast and being the first person that I interview. Yeah. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you ever come back?
Oh God, no. Yes.
What? No, I don't want to talk to you.
Yes. If the people want me back, I will come back.
I'll be back. Sounds great. Thank you so much for sharing your side of the restorative bubble bath experience. And all lies. and just sharing
she
your
gave me
side
a script.
No, I did not. Do not listen to her. I gave her a list of questions and she answered them herself.
A script.
Anyway, thank you so much for being part of this episode and this interview and sharing your restorative bubble bath experience, and just how my teachings, the stuff that I've studied myself, has really helped you in your experience.
Yeah.
And deepening your experience and giving yourself a deeper love for the experience also, that you didn't realize that you could have with your bubble bath experience.
Yeah.
Well, it was great seeing you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.